Okay, so today we'll talk about the drugs of Hindustan and the Indian drugs in homeopathy. So what is interesting is that many of the Indian drugs have been used a lot in Kolkata and lot of part of India. But what is even more interesting is that the drugs of Hindustan and Indian drugs are being used in Ayurveda. So many of these uh, homeopathic remedies are um, quite used in Ayurvedic literature. So you can even take a little bit of idea of Ayurvedic indications of that remedy so that we can use those remedies in homeopathic potencies. So the first remedy I want to talk to you today about is a remedy which is very close to my heart, which I use a lot. Is the remedy Ossimum Sanctum, and so there are two versions. There's Ossimum Canum. That's another remedy, which is a very well-known remedy, especially worked on by Muir from Brazil, and it's an important remedy for the renal calculi and renal colic, which I use very often. But the other remedy which I'm talking to you today about is Ossimum Sanctum. That's Tulsi, and even in our it has a very important place in Vedic culture of ours. But what is interesting is that it is a replacement for tuberculinum. So in clinical practice, in children's cases, one needs to know Ossimum Sanctum really well if you want to be a good clinician. A lot of symptoms like tuberculinum, recurrent cold and cough of children. The key indication would be red lips and lot of extreme headache and very irritable child. I've written here, you can see Sina like mind state, bryonia like headache, and red lips. Red lips and Ossimum Sanctum. It's typically also well known for forgetfulness, but even especially for lot of drowsiness with fever, Ossimum Sanctum should be thought about. With redness of the eye, lacrimation of the eye. Interestingly, better by cold. That's opposite to rust. So for flu-like symptom in children, Ossimum Sanctum is a very important remedy. I've put together some indications for you. Red eyes, hot lacrimation, hot flushes, bitter taste in the mouth, white coating on the tongue, red lips. Fever will have cough with pain in chest, drowsiness. Almost you will get confused with the remedy bryonia or gelsemium, typically. The next remedy I want to talk to you today about, an Indian remedy that I feel we can use more often if we really know how to use it well, is the remedy Rovolfia. Rolfie is another remedy which I feel we don't know much. We just randomly prescribe it for hypertension. Now, interestingly, Rolfie is used not just in allopathy but even in Ayurveda for hypertension. Rolfia is very well known in Kolkata as the Indian ornament. So, the keynote is often a lot of sleeplessness with increased blood pressure, and it's very well known to be prescribed in mother tincture. In fact, one of my teachers, Dr. Vijay Vaishnav, taught me this remedy. He used to use this remedy a lot in hypertension. He used to cut off the allopathic medicine, put patients on Rovolfia along with the constitutional remedy. So, interestingly, it's Rovolfia in Indian Ayurvedic medications also is a medicine used for pagalpan, that's mania, in especially northern India. A lot of depression, a lot of palpitations, a lot of hyperacidity, laziness, craving for cold drinks, and rustox like joint pains is Rovolfia. The next remedy, and this is a sheet anchor, this is a remedy that Indian homeopaths should be using so much more, and not just Indian, all over the world. But it's very well known to be prescribed in Kolkata again. The drugs of Hindustan, interestingly, are remedies more used in Kolkata than anywhere else. That's where I learned this. But still, I find many Bengali homeopaths use it randomly for empirical literature. So what I'm trying to do is trying to build a literature around which you can give homeopathically, individualized way. So this way we'll talk about the remedy Saraka indica or Ashoka. Another name for it, Jonosia Asoka. So Again, this has so much of importance in our Vedic culture. It's very very well known in Uttar Pradesh, in South India, in all across. In fact, married Hindu women worship this plant, and this is very well known. In fact, if you are trying to understand the word Asoka, it literally means in Indian culture as remover of all ailments. Um, but what I want to tell you is how to use it actually, and I put together some literature for Jonosia Asoka. I found it has a mind state like magnesium and pulsatilla, where they are very reserved, very very emotional, very sensitive, and the female symptoms, and it's basically a symptom. It's basically a menstrual regulator. It has a deep action on the hormones, and for any kind of amenorrhea and even metrorrhagia. So, a lot of delayed menses, colicky menses, action on ovaries. You can see here, leukorrhea, watery leukorrhea, offensive leukorrhea. Typically, craving for acids, pickles, and sour would be a very important indication for zoonoses. And better by open air, better by menses. So this is a little bit like lachesis here. Suppressed menses, severe headache due to menses, delayed irregular menses. So it goes from amenorrhea till metrorrhagia, all types. But specifically for amenorrhea more and scanty menses more. Dreams of frightful dreams of journey is also one of the symptoms that you will see. It has to be given in low potency. I believe the best potency for Jonosia is 6 potency and not mother tincture. This is again a remedy I've learned from Dr. Sarkar actually. He uses this remedy very often. The only problem, he doesn't tell it how to use it. So it took me some years to understand this. Let's come to another remedy, Indian remedy, Terminalia Arjuna. Arjuna is used a lot. Arjuna is used a lot. In fact, I had a case of cardiomyopathy which I prescribed Terminalia Arjuna, and it was a very bad case. And I believe just on Terminalia Arjuna, he lived for about 3-4 years with Terminalia Arjuna. It was a very, very um, terminal case. Interestingly, terminal case and Terminalia Arjuna. So, very well known, Terminalia Arjuna is a very well known remedy like Arnica. It's called a little bit like Indian Arnica. Any kind of injury, it's a top remedy to be thought about. But I want to specifically speak about the cardiac case. It's often a cardiac tonic like Crataegus, like Convallaria. So we can use this more often for that. What else can I talk to you today about? Tribulus terrestris. It's a Indian remedy for kidney drainage. Top remedy. It should have burning like Cantharis, um, action on calculi like Berberis vulgaris, but a concomitant is sexual sphere. So it's a very important remedy for impotency and sexual autotransmission. That's what written Boric Materia Medica. If you try to find this remedy in Boric, all these remedies, you won't get it directly. You will get it in a separate section behind. I tell this very often. To go to the next level, it's important for you to learn all approaches. You won't be able to reach there only by knowing only repertory or only material or only one method or only one form of approach. Let me talk to you about a few more remedies here. Let me see what comes up. Glyceria glabra. It's a top remedy for high cholesterol. So today's world, instead of giving the so-called remedy statins for high cholesterol and lipids, this is a remedy I use a lot. Glyceria glabra, low potency. Sarkar once told me that Glyceria glabra is a top remedy for colon. So any kind of ulcerative colitis or colon cancer, Glyceria glabra can be thought about to give it separately. What do I talk to you about? Okay, Cinedone dactylon. Again, a hemorrhagic remedy. All kinds of hemorrhage, bleeding, hemoptysis, epistaxis, menorrhagia, hemoptysis. But mainly, I have used it twice in bleeding piles, and it has been fantastically clinically applicable. One more remedy I want to talk to you about, and we'll call it a day. Let's see, what do I talk to? Okay, let's talk about Justicia Ada Thoda. Again, a remedy. I think we should be using more often. Basaka, it's called in Bengali. And the main indication that you should know about, especially everything starts from sneezing and catarrh. This is very important. And many cases where we are giving Drosera, antimonitrat, and Spongia, it's actually could be thought about zoonosis. Aggravated change in weather, hot patient. The indication is see, first of all, you should know how to use Indian drugs. Indian drugs are to be used when you don't get too many peculiar symptoms. That is when you use it as an organ remedy in lower potency. You don't use Indian drugs in all cases. You use it when you are unable to individualize, or the pathology is such where you are not able to individualize. So a lot of sneezing, catarrh followed by cough is often a very important symptom for gestasia. Another very important symptom that I have seen is lacrimation along with coryza. Very much irritable. This is very important. Very irritable. Constant mucus discharge is a concomitant. Entire loss of smell and taste. Anosmia, which is another remedy for it, Natrum muriaticum. So these are some remedies, Indian remedies, and Indian drugs of Hindustan is something that one should be talking about. If I have to teach you, it will take me about 2 days to just talk about drugs of Hindustan. But I want to just give you a little bit of idea. I want you to apply it. And there are about more than 100 Indian remedies. Maybe at some point we'll talk about.